Hi YouTube, we're back for part 2 or part 3 depending on how I do it of the Minwax Polycrylic protective finish clear coat job on the Airbus A330. If you've already seen part 1, you already know that I sprayed a grand total of 263 grams of product weighed before and after on the scale. So obviously there's going to be some overspray that gets on the ground. There's going to be some drying and some solvents and some mixarants, probably not solvents because it's water-based. As you can see, there's been no negative reactivity in the foam. Why don't you come and take a shot of this? One kind of big bummer is that if you take a shot down here, you'll see, take a shot down here, you'll see that I still have the rough spots. There's rough spots here. That was the whole idea of me doing this, was to get rid of those. But one thing that's been gained is the shininess. Now normally on an airplane I wouldn't want to add shininess, but on this particular airplane I really like it because on an airliner you would expect to have a pretty good amount of shininess on it. The only problem is, like I said, with these, but I could actually sand these spots and they have been diminished to a certain degree. Back here they're worse, where I'd actually pulled off the tape. So anyway, I'm going to show you my test method and have my camera woman take over again. I just have a little, this is a 5 kg scale by 1 gram, so it's 5,000 grams. So what I do is, you'll notice I just basically center the wheel over the top of the scale, and then I use plates, get a shot of the plates and stuff. Take a shot over there. You can see I'm keeping it at approximately the same height so that it doesn't increase the amount of load that's transferred. And I'm splitting this out without battery first, 190 grams. That's without battery, so obviously the battery tray is empty. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause it, I'll move it to the left main, right main, and then I'll probably put in the battery and just stay where I am and then keep doing that process until I get all my readings, and then we'll look over the readings together. We've resituated the scale here so you can see how we've set this up once you get in and just get a shot. It says 901 grams. So you're touching the scale.
No, sorry.
So basically you can see the reading, but what we're going to do is you have to make sure it starts from 0. Obviously it's a regular scale, so there's nothing magical about that. So basically this reading, you're centered over the center mass of the scale. We get to a center of 0 and then we lower down the weight. So we're basically 894 grams is the reading on, this would be for us our right, or excuse me, our left main. So that's going to be 896 grams. And remember, these are the readings without battery. And go ahead and pause it, and then we'll just pick back up when we've got all the readings and we can look at the diagram together.
Okay.
Okay guys, so we're back. Basically you can see the scales moved over there. So we've gotten all 3 measurements, and now we just need to total them up. Why don't you come around and we'll do the math together. Again, this is more of a tutorial than anything on how to measure your plane. You can figure out if you're centered and all this good stuff by doing the math. It's really simple math. 896 plus 830. And I want you guys to notice something. Look at the difference here between these two. Big difference. So anyway, not exactly sure how to explain that. But our overall empty weight is 1,916 grams. So for those of you who don't understand what a kilogram is, it's 1,000 grams. So you'd be 1.9 kg. So if you look at our old chart, you can see that we were 1,874. So real quick, we'll just take 1,874 grams and we will subtract it from our total. So 1,874, and that's 42 grams, guys. Oh, thank goodness. I was very nervous. Now, what is the significance of 42 grams? Now, first of all, you're saying, well, you haven't done the battery and you haven't done the battery. Well, yeah, who cares? We're just looking for a change from the before and after, okay? The change from the original nose weight, dang it. Did I? Yep, I did the right one. So 1,874 grams was the initial weight of the plane without any battery, okay? So now that we have added all the clear coat, you can see that we had a dry down. I'm sure there's probably some technical terminology for 263 has become somehow magically 42. That either means that I missed really bad when I was painting this plane, or that means that there was a lot of drying that happened. It is a water-based product, so we can figure out 263 grams. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 42 over 263 becomes approximately 15.969%. And that's going to be 42 grams over this equals, this is our percentage. So would you come hold this again? And I want to hold basically here. So 15%. So if you were to use 2 cans, then we could assume that you would be using approximately 263 times 2, which would be 526 grams, and you would take that times 0.16 approximately, which is going to give you about 84 grams of additional weight. So if you didn't like the way that this plane looked, you can figure on using this formula that you're going to add about 42 grams to the overall weight of this plane. Now 42 grams is nothing to scoff at. Remember, that's about 2.5% of the overall weight of the scale. Of the plane. So let's just do the math, make sure I'm doing that right. 42 grams over the overall weight, which is 1,916, is going to give us about 2.25. So yeah, about 2.25, 2.19. So you're about 2.25%. And remember, 2.25%, you know, for all intents and purposes, that could be 20 seconds of flight time. So it's not without expense. And I'm not talking about the $10.50 for this thing. I'm talking about the weight. So going from this battery in review, which is a 4,000 milliamp Turnigy heavy duty, 60 through 120C 4S, okay? Going to this battery, which is a zippy compact, basically a Turnigy heavy duty, 60 through 120C, 3300 4S, so about 700 milliamp hours less capacity. You're looking at a difference of approximately 4% saved, 4% of total weight. So what did we just add? 2. So look at that, guys. The difference between this and this, which is a minute or better in flight time, is half of that was just from clear coat. So you need to seriously consider a clear coat before you add it. Now, I gotta say, it looks really nice. I am a little bit annoyed that it didn't do better on this, but if I wanted to sand this down, I could go spend another 10 bucks and I guarantee you I could get a better finish and it would look really nice. But I think satisfaction, I think this is a satisfactory result. I mean, look at that cool, that little glare that goes down the length of the airplane. I love it. That's exactly what I was going for. And by the way, you can see that defective yellow glue here. It's just barely anything. Gosh, I've got Horizon Hobby planes that have defective yellowing. Totally acceptable. So anyway, guys, that's how I did that. I wanted to give you a final. Sorry, my camera abruptly ran out of memory again. I'll try to figure that out someday when I have more memory on my phone. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.